Minnesota is a mess still. And the homie Don Lemon got arrested.
Yeah.
I was talking to him we were texting the day before. It didn't look like it was a big deal because originally they wouldn't file charges against him.
Right.
And then they ended up arresting him.
Right.
And 4 other journalists also. What's your take on that?
Listen, I don't dive too much into the political arena in terms of, social activism. But Major Margie Taylor Green or something, was on Real Time with Bill Maher, this most recent episode. And they talked about that. And I forget what it's called, but it's called the Something Face Act, where you're not allowed to go into places of worship and disrupt for any reason. And she went on to say, that's not, I'm paraphrasing and fucking it up because I can't remember the entire context, but she said something about, that's not activism, it's something, whatever the word was she used. And under the FACE Act, that's why Don Lemon got arrested and should have. Because, as a journalist, yes, it's your obligation to do certain things, but there's a place and a time, and to go into a place of worship and disrupt them for the reasons that he was doing it was a big no-no.
Well, he claims he was just covering the incident. And as the media, you could cover an incident and not be charged.
But to go into a church while they're worshiping and disrupt the service, to do that, was apparently there's something against that.
Yeah, you're right. A federal jury in Minnesota indicted the 4 on charges related to interruption of a religious service at the church where a U.S. Immigration and Customs enforcement official served as a pastor.
Yeah.
They claimed it was part of a coordinated attack. Look, ICE is going crazy right now. There was a few people that got killed, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, both in Minnesota. Both situations, people were unarmed.
Yeah.
What do you think about, for example, Renee Good? She was driving and then she drove off. I think she may have driven over, one of the ICE agents' foot, and then he opened fired and killed her.
Oh, God, this was such a hot-button issue that we discussed on the podcast. First and foremost, she shouldn't be dead, okay? Now, I think like everybody else, initially in the beginning, went, oh, my God, cold-blooded murder. But then when you look at it from certain angles and the fact that when she, reversed and then went forward, you do kind of see the cop get clipped by the car because his legs kick out. So at that point, if you're weaponizing your vehicle and he really feels his life was threatened, I guess. But then the hard sell is that after he does it, as he's walking away from the scene and you hear him say, fucking bitch. So, I don't know, man. It's a tough call.
Look, I looked at it a couple of times. It looked like she was being given different directions by different people. I think one of the people was saying to pull over. The other person was saying to go forward. So she was a little bit confused as to where to go. I feel like with these ICE agents, these aren't very trained people.
No.
They're offering him big bonuses to join or whatever else. So you got a bunch of bozos who just want the money.
You'd be hard-pressed to believe that there aren't some of these guys who aren't out there just because it makes their dick hard to slam people on the ground and fuck them up.
Exactly. And get a check for it.
Right. Give me a reason to use this pepper spray.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been wanting to shoot a gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right.
And listen, we all have the right, this is the beauty of America, to protest.
Yeah.
One of the arguments has been that they feel there are certain people in the name of activism that are purposely going out to do what they can to disrupt ICE from doing their job. And if their job is to round up criminals and people who are here illegally, you are not supposed to get in the way of that.
Yeah.
You are not supposed to physically interfere with what they're doing. So in the terms of Renee Good, when the cop had said to her, hey, you can't just block the roadway like this, back out and leave. And, her girlfriend was or her wife was being mouthy. And all I'm trying to say is listen, if you know that there's a volatile situation,
yeah,
why put yourself in the mix when you know that the outcome could lead to the worst tragic thing possible? Why even put yourself in the mix?
Well, I mean, can't you say the same thing about the civil rights protests, Martin Luther King, everything else like that? All those people put their neck out knowing it was a hostile, volatile situation. People lost their lives. People got beat up. People got arrested.
This,
but look,
to me,
ultimately, there was a good ending to it. Well, not Martin Luther King getting killed, of course, but I'm saying civil rights were changed.
There's a big difference, though. You know, under the Constitution, we're supposed to be given God-given rights to live a life.
You're right. It's not exactly the same thing. No, you're right.
We're talking about ICE supposedly rounding up illegals,
yes,
people who have broken the law, people who are dangerous. You can't compare that.
Or just being illegal in general. I mean, I guess the part that kind of confuses me a little bit, right, is that this could have been a gradual process. For example, like they could have said, listen, we're not going to have tolerance over illegals in America anymore. So first, we're going to send out paperwork to everybody. We're going to start using a soft approach, start getting rid of people and so forth, getting them to go back. And then gradually you get more and more ICE agents. But it kind of went from zero to like ICE agents everywhere.
Listen, I hate when people try to use that argument. Well, Obama was the deporter in chief. He deported more illegals. He didn't do it the same way.
He didn't do it this way.
He did not do it the same way. He went through due process, and it was not nearly the same thing. Because I was going, well, wait a minute. If Obama, and I know MAGA supporters especially, right-wingers, Republicans, they love to bring up Obama to take away the fact that Lord Vader is out of control. But I'm going, I didn't see ICE agents like this in the streets with Obama. Shit running rampant, mass protests, people getting killed, regular American civilians. You didn't see this. What was the reason for that? Because he did it the right way. And let me go back to something I said a second ago. When I go, and when you tried to compare this to the civil rights thing, which I think is a bad comparison, but for me, this is a better comparison. Emmett Till. Now, if I'm Emmett Till's family, and we're in Chicago, which is far, not that Chicago or the North or, the East Coast or whatever was racist free, because it was bad too. But it wasn't the South. It wasn't the Deep South where they say, hey man, never look a white man in the eye. If a white man is coming in your direction on the same street, cross the street, don't fuck with white women. I don't care if I have family in Mississippi. If it's 1950 and we know the Deep South is dangerous for black people, I'm not sending Emmett Till to go see his family. They can come up here. So why would I? And I know some people might argue against that, but I'm just going, if you know that a situation is that dangerous, why would you send your 14-year-old child down there?
I mean, maybe financially you need to do that because you need to work because you can't afford childcare and so forth, and it makes sense to send him down there, and there has been problems in the past.
In 1950, nothing makes sense enough to do that.
I feel you.
And like I said, if y'all want to see Emmett, bring your asses up here. But I'm not sending my kid down there by himself. No. So that's all I'm saying with the Renee Good thing. Again, I know that in America, you have the right to protest. But man, come on now.